uh, Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to tell you guys what are the different books that you should consider if your role is related to Java or you're working as a Java backend engineer and you're using Spring and 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 almost only Java in a backend part. So I'm going to list out few of the books that as a Java backend developer you must have to read, because these books will lay the foundation for as a Java developer, and these books will tell you what are the best practices you should follow, and what are the design principle, and what are the basic things that you should consider while writing Java code. What I mean by basic things is like uh, like whether to use constructor or to use a builder pattern. I mean, some traits are there, right? So in some scenarios you have to use one thing, and in another scenario you have to use another thing. So these books will teach you those things, and they are more. I mean, they are kind of a general things as well, which you can use in other languages as well, but they are heavily focused on Java, some of them. Okay, so if so so I when I started my journey as a Java backend developer, I was lucky enough that some of my seniors told me to go through all these books, and I luckily go through all this, and it was a very helpful. It was very helpful for me. I could not consider, I cannot consider myself doing Java code by not without reading these books, right? If I directly started writing Java code without reading all these books, then I can consider how bad am I going to code. Okay, so the okay, Java books are okay. So the first book is these are very famous books. These are not like I'm telling you very underdogs books. These are quite famous in the Java community, and yeah, I mean these are well-known books basically. So first one is the Effective Java book. This book will tell you what are the best practices for each segment of Java language. Okay, so from classes to lambda to generics. I mean, you can go through all the table contents of this book, but I'm telling you like the major topics in the language Java, like when to use enum. I mean, why things are created in Java. No, I'm not telling you that it will teach you Java, but there are some things, right? Some things which are designed in Java for a specific use, like their interfaces, right? There's a composition. So it like one of the item in this book, so basically this book is divided into like I ca- I cannot remember the exact number, but like there are 91 items in this book, and each item will teach you something related to Java development, as a Java developer to you. Okay, so I was telling you an example. Let's say uh, if I don't know, you guys know it or not, that I mean in colleges we used to hear this a lot, that inheritance, there is Java inheritance. Inheritance is very important concept in theory, exams, and everyone asks in interviews as well, what is inheritance, what are the different types of inheritance. But in the actual world, inheritance is very rarely used. I mean, it is used, but you would not go directly use inheritance. It is provided in a very rare scenarios inheritance is being used. So there is another technique called composition. So it is preferable to use composition than inheritance, because inheritance inheritance is considered as a tight coupling. So I mean, if one class get inherited uh, uh, by another class, then if there is any change in the parent class, that changes will be reflected in the lower classes as well. So in many scenarios when you're writing code, sometimes they may change there may come a change where the parent class needs some change. In that scenario, you don't want the subclasses also to get those changes. So unless and until you are very confirmed on this part that you would be using inheritance, so you should take this situation into the consider that first condition, that if there comes any change, then your code should, I mean, the subclasses should also get those changes. If that is yes, then you should go for inheritance. Another situation is that if you are very sure about this fact that there will not be any new changes in far future as well. Okay, so I mean, this is just an example. This is one of the item present in this book, and it's a worth reading book. It's worth reading this book. Okay, next book is the design pattern, head first design pattern. So head first design pattern is basically a book which teaches you all the design patterns, all the common design patterns. I will not tell all the design patterns, but all the common design patterns that are commonly used. um, okay. Okay. Um, I would I don't think I have to explain you what design patterns are. So basically, these are some practices that you incur in your code while writing the code. Okay, while writing any feature. I mean, how classes should be linked to each other. How, I mean, there are a lot of patterns. If you go deep dive into this book, you will come to know what design patterns are and what are the design principles. um, you know so this book is for that. There's another book called Clean Code. This is for best practices, like what the method names you should be giving, what are the best, I mean, let's talk about best practices that you should do while writing Java code. um, um, there's a book. I mean, most probably, if you are using Java in the backend, then most probably you would be using Spring as a framework for building web applications, for REST application. So there's a book called Spring Microservices in Action, and there's another book called which is similar to this book, Spring Boot in Action. So I would suggest you first read the Spring Microservices in Action. This will give you more idea about different component in the Spring Boot will tell you more specifically the upgrade the Spring Boot has after Spring got developed to Spring Boot. So Spring Microservices has certain concepts like service discovery, Spring security, sleuth, zipkin. So these concepts that comes under Spring Microservices, and these are worth reading. So basically, these 5 books I would recommend for to any Java developer who just started, or even who just has got a lot of experience and still wanted to revise some other concepts. Then these 5 books are I mean, worth reading. These 5 books, this will um, you know if you are not that much good, it will make you that much good, and it will make you more better if you read these books. Okay, if you haven't. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this all I wanted to share in this video about these 5 books. You can easily find the PDF link or PDF of these documents online. You just have to directly go and type the name of this book. These are the name of those. You can pause the video and take the I mean copy the name of the books. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's all from this video. Hope you like the video. If you like, do subscribe and uh, like the video, and do share it with your friends. And yeah, bye bye.